So we're going to start by talking about Castlefield Bowl,
Hmm.
one of Manchester's finest venues, I would say, outdoor, close to a railway line where a train passes through every couple of
Yeah, it's Oxford
hours.
Street Station, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, is it Oxford Road? Oxford Street.
Oxford
One of
Road,
them's in
Oxford.
London. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, Manchester Oxford Road. It'll be. It's near Deansgate as well, isn't it? So it could
Hmm.
be that one. But
It's and the train it rolls over your head as you're sat in the Thirsty Scholar, and then that's a nice little pre-gig pint for Castlefield Bowl, I find. But also you've got
Yes.
Deansgate, you've got the Pev, you've got the Brit, plenty to
Well,
do.
I was in the Thirsty Scholar for the first time in a long time the other day,
Ah,
and it has one of those old quiz machines, where you
yeah, yeah.
classic games. You know how they all
Hmm.
changed to like roulette and everything, but it's got the old. But we only had 150p, so we got the old pub quiz up, and we were out in the first round. So
It's
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure we could do a whole other episode on the pubs in Manchester, but Scholar is certainly one of my favorites.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But the venue, it's got a hotel next to it, hasn't it? It's got
Hmm.
that kind of over. I don't know whether they sell that as part of the gig or
I
that's
think they
just.
do sell packages for it for the because
Mm,
the thing with Castlefield Bowl and what I think sort of gives it so much of its special feeling is the rarity
mm.
value to it, and you get like what 6, 8 gigs a year, and,
Yeah,
and that's it, and then it's gone. So I've been to two this year. Have you just seen the one?
you just jungle for me this year.
Yeah,
But
so
I've
I
been to
managed to
quite a
get
few over the years. Yeah.
I managed to get to two this year. I think I did two last year and two the year before. So if you can get in a couple of times, it's always worth it because it's a cracking venue.
Yeah. Sounds of the City, they call it. So they've just expanded to Leeds as well, haven't they? They do it at
Oh, have
Millennium
they?
Square.
Oh, that's where Yard Act Tower, isn't it?
So last week was Loyal Kana was Wednesday, Jungle was Thursday. I think Suede and Mannix were Friday.
Yeah, my friend went to Sweden and Mannix. I also saw Fatboy Slim the
That was it.
previous
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah. That was so. Suede and Mannix I've actually heard very good reviews of. I don't know if your friend enjoyed it. But,
He said he had a really good time. Yeah, I mean, I'm
mm.
not a particular fan of either band,
No, no, same.
um,
Yeah.
but Pixies, I've seen Foals there, I've seen Pulp there. It's
Mm.
just and like they get big bands in as well, and it's quite a small capacity for some of the big bands that you get in there.
Yeah, the National had played the week before as well. They've got a big
That's it.
cult
Yeah.
audience. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, up there, and I think bands like playing there as well. I think
Mm.
artists look forward to it. And
Yeah.
I bet it'd be a similar vibe to Peace Hall, which I've never been to.
No, I've never been
Um,
to Peace Hall. That
um,
was also on Fatboy Slim's tour. I think it's also on Loyal's tour,
yeah,
and I was considering it, but I just love Castlefield Bowl
yeah, I do, but I think Peace Hall would be better, and I don't know why. I've just got a feeling. Peace Hall and that Scarborough Open Air Theatre, they're all kind of
and
outdoor,
Cardiff
kind of.
Castle as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
It's got
tell me about your other sort of favourites in terms of Manchester venues.
okay, so yeah, we'll go on to favourites then, because I think Albert Hall comes to mind, and again, that's about
Yeah,
aesthetics to me.
definitely. But it's also got a really good sound in there.
It has, yeah, and it's got the nice upstairs area, so you can just like sit on the benches if you like, which is
Yeah,
kind of
sometimes I like
annoying getting
to.
to for certain
Yeah, if
artists.
it's getting a bit sort of intense, then I will take myself upstairs. Um, I've
Mm.
seen a lot of good bands there. They get a really good sort of pull of bands at the Albert Hall. And everyone has been brilliant, except for Viagra Boys when someone spilled a pint on the mixing desk and it all just went totally wrong. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I saw Yard Out there, Murder Capital, Amel and the Sniffers. I saw
Mm.
Mogwai there, and I stood right at the front, and then I had to go at the back because it was too loud and I felt sick. Um,
See, those sound quite like a bit rowdier than the type of gigs I go to at Albert Hall.
oh,
Because
they were a bit.
one of the standouts I can think of was, don't know if you know him, he's a Scandinavian sort of singer-songwriter folk called Tallest Man on Earth.
I know
Um,
of him. Yeah,
yeah, and it just felt like the perfect venue. It's just for something like that. It's a little bit different.
yeah.
Um, but what's your favorite venue then?
I think it's got to be yes for me.
Oh, now
Because
that's what the Pink Room.
Well, both of them really. I think
Mm.
and what I like about Yes is that they put on so much sort of emerging talent and new acts and stuff like that. In that
Mm.
you'll see someone in the basement and you'll think, "Shit, these are good. Like these are really good." And
Mm.
then 18 months later, they've kind of graduated to the Pink Room. And I think what I like about the basement is it is exactly what you want for something that is like small and underground and, more often than not alternative or punk or post-punk, and you
Mm,
can really sort of see into the whites of the eyes of who you're
yeah.
watching. Small stage, and I've seen a lot of bands kind of come up through there. I've seen Sprints there, Lambrini Girls, English Teacher. There's a
Mm,
lot there. Excuse me. And then the Pink Room upstairs is like, and I think it's a big milestone for artists, or at least I kind of
mm,
perceive it that way. In that, your single gets on Six Music, a lot of people buy your album, and you play the Pink Room, and it seems to be sort of like a big achievement to sort of spur you on to the next stage, I guess.
yeah, you do. And you see some bands doing it as an intimate, like if they're in Manchester and they've maybe got time to do, they might do a DJ set at Yes, or they'll play like
Yeah,
an acoustic set at Yes. I've
or
seen
your
that a
after
couple of
party or
times.
something.
Yeah. So it turned into a bit of a like cool hotspot, didn't it, for music? And it's quite a big place, isn't it? It's got loads to it because it's got the
Yeah, you've got a few
club aspect.
levels because there's like they put club nights on and stuff as well, and then they've
Mm,
got a really nice roof terrace at the top. They've got food in the middle, and then you sort of bookended by these two brilliant live rooms.
mm. Yeah, no, good show. I was expecting a larger venue, but you've gone right to the
Oh
grassroots.
no, it's just perfect. There's a
Mm,
lot of good big rooms, like you said, the Albert Hall. I think New Century Hall is fantastic as a live space, and
yeah,
it's fairly new, and I've only been going there for a couple of years, but for what it offers, it's perfect. But there's just something a bit special about Yes, especially the basement, and I love the Pink Room, but especially the basement.
yeah. No, I've got New Century Hall down as well. I think that's because it's quite fresh, but I have been going to quite a lot of gigs there now, and it's getting a bit like
Yeah, every other gig
s-
is at New
spread them
Century
out.
Hall. Yeah.
I'd like it to be spread out a bit. Manchester Apollo is, I think, one of the best venues in
I think
Manchester.
I've
Just
only been there once. I think I saw Wolf Alice there on the Blue Weekend tour, and I think that's the only time I've been. But I did
mm,
like it.
yeah, it's the way it's kind of a ramp, isn't it? And obviously the theatre element of it. They've got a right. It's not just a music venue, is it? And I think that kind of makes it feel a bit more special, a bit
Yeah,
different.
the sort of theatricality, like the Albert Hall,
Mm,
it kind of lends the
yeah.
atmosphere a lot. Um, and they get
Mm,
some good bands on in there, but I have only been the once. But like I said, I enjoyed it.
mm.
I
Oh,
don't mind
they
the
did.
Ritz. Oh,
I put
sorry.
Ritz down. No, I was just going to say about the Apollo. The one time I didn't like it. It's right next to where I play football on a Thursday, and
Oh, right.
I'm not so fond of someone called Stephen Bartlett. I'm sure you're aware of him.
I
The
know of him.
Dragon's Den entrepreneur
Right.
kind of bloke, and I've never been fond of him because of some of the drivel he comes out with on LinkedIn and that side of things. But I was in this massive queue being late for football, and then as I approached the roundabout to turn left, I saw O2 Apollo, and then his shining lights Stephen Bartlett, and I was like, right, well that
You're on
that
the
just
list
tops it
now.
off. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Um,
said the Ritz, so
The Ritz, I
Ritz.
do quite like the Ritz. I think it's all right. My issue with the Ritz is whilst it's a pretty good venue and I really like the bouncy floor, same as New Century Hall,
Mm.
it's the most expensive pint in Manchester. Other than like the Co-op Live, it's the most expensive round in town.
Yeah, yeah. But I think a Ritz is another one where bands enjoy playing. But it's
Mhm.
not that big capacity, is it?
No,
Not.
it's not. I don't think it's huge, and it's also got that. It's like central as well, which is good.
Yeah.
And it's opposite Gorilla, which is another one that I really like.
Gorilla, yeah. Deaf Institute's worth a shout.
Deaf Institute is
Um,
fantastic. This is it. We're so lucky in Manchester that we've got so many of these places.
yeah.
I think
When I
all
spoke
of
to
the
Listerese, they
academies.
were saying about it. They were saying how
Oh yeah.
Manchester got so much and Liverpool hasn't, and I've never really thought about it. I've just assumed that every city like
No,
that
there's
has a
there's I think Manchester is one of the best for it because there's something like
mm,
every 200 meters, really.
yeah. I
Um,
feel like
I like the
Glasgow's good.
academies as well. Yeah, I haven't really
Mm,
spent a lot of time in Glasgow, but I do want
mm.
to.
A lot of
But
venues.
yeah, yeah. But all of the academies I like. I've been through club through three, two, and one, and they're all sort of serve a purpose for what you want. The
Yeah.
club
It,
academy and academy three is like your sweaty sort of up and
yeah.
coming and rowdy stuff. Academy
It,
two is sort of up, like they've come up, but they've got further to go. And then you got the big room, which is sort of New Century Hall adjacent,
yeah. So Club Academy is like a pub, isn't it? Feels
pretty
like
much.
basically.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, I don't get excited if someone's playing at Academy, but I suppose that's
No.
because been there for a while. I like something a bit different. But Victoria
And
Warehouse is at the top of my worst list.
yeah, and I've been there a few times. I've seen a couple of bands there. I went to the Six Music Festival last year or the year before, and it's like miles out of the way, and the sound is rubbish, and the
Mm.
drinks are expensive, and every time you go there, I'm always thinking, I wish this was anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, even yeah, so it's got the mezzanine bit, hasn't it? Which I used to think was blocked off. So I think if you get to the front of that top bit, it's quite good. But there's so
Oh, I
little
see. I thought that was
space.
only for sort of artist friends, family, crew type
No,
thing.
no, it's I think it might have been to start with, and now it's
Right.
see, at first I thought Victoria Warehouse got a lot of unnecessary hate because everyone seemed to hate on it, and it just became like a thing. But then it just every time I went, I just kind of saw it more and more as to
It's
why.
just not great, is it? I think there's a lot of potential in a room like that, but whatever
Mm,
they've done to it, it just is sort of a bit rubbish. And like that
yeah.
mezzanine thing, like I talked to, I went to Academy One, like the main academy. It was the first time I ever went there to go and see sports team, and I just
Mm,
sort of walked through the door and up the stairs. I don't know how I got in there because I shouldn't have been allowed in there. And then
mm.
like the drummer was there with her mum and stuff, and I was sort of like,
Al
"Ah, I don't think
Greenwood.
I should be here, Al Greenwood. Yeah. Oh, well, you would know as she's a Man United fan, isn't she? But I sort of stood there like, oh, I definitely shouldn't be here. I'm gonna go.
No, I should have said hello to Al Greenwood because they were at 110 above, and she walked past me, and I've been saying how I want to try and speak to sports team all
Ah, yeah,
weekend,
yeah,
and apparently I was just like in it. We walked past her, and I hadn't noticed. I was just like in another world or something. My mate went, we just walked past her now, and you missed your chance. I was like,
yeah. They've got new music coming out, of course. That'll be,
believe
is it this
so.
week, I think?
You told me I'd not even seen. I've seen they were playing O'Meara, but
They are
I've not.
playing Amira. It's their first UK show in like 2 years, and they have got a tune coming out at some point soon to go along with that. But yes, I know I love Sports Team. I think they're a cracking band.
I'm a big fan of sports team and a brilliant live band as
Mm.
well. But we'll save that
Um,
new music for later.
yes, yeah. Okay, so we've kind of graduated through the sizes here. Tell me, have you been to the Co-op Live yet?
Yes, but it's something I'd not like to share on this podcast
Oh, why?
because we took my friend's mum to see Take That.
That's not very cool indie music of you,
Exactly,
surely.
exactly. So my friend took his friend's mum to Take That.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and
Basically, that's
you,
the excuse we used to go to the new venue because it
right?
was seemed like. But then when they started, we thought at one point it was going to end up at the AO Arena, and then we'd have definitely
Oh,
not
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
But
Well, but then I do like the AO. I think it's just like pretty standard arena. You get big enough bands in there. They kind of do everything right. They've got the public transport links. You know, you're right in the center of town. You can jump on the tram. You sort of just take a 2 minute walk, and you're in the middle of Manchester.
mm,
And I kind of, as we've discussed many times on this podcast, I sort of didn't see the need for the co-op live. But then
yeah,
having gone there, it is sort of a cut above, I think. You know, the sound is brilliant. The
mm,
environment is very, very good. The stage is massive, and
yeah,
you in the crowd are close as well. So it's sort of, whilst it's massive, if you're at the front, it's kind of got that intimate feel to it as well. And
yeah.
you know, I know there's a lot of money and a lot of faff and a lot of hassle, but I have sort of had to eat a bit of humble pie co-op live wise.
100%. It's really good. It's a really good venue for
Mm.
music wise. There's still some slight teething issues, but you'd expect that anyway.
Yeah,
They've overcome,
exactly.
they've overcome the big hurdles, and yeah, it's how everyone feels so close together, even though it's a bigger capacity. It's just a
Yeah, and it is
really
giant
well
as well. That
designed.
place
Yeah.
is massive. And
Mm.
yeah, the public transport links, whilst obviously not in the center of town, you know, getting to the tram I found was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, fair play to them, I guess. I just wonder whether they'll be able to keep up the same level of artists that they've booked at the start.
Yeah, I think they will. That back stand is like the cop or something, isn't it? It's
It's
just
massive, isn't it?
yeah, really good, really impressed. As like you say, though, humble pie, isn't it? Because we did slate it.
Yes, but then I think a lot of the criticism around it was justified
Yeah.
because they fucked it up massively, and it was a very, very expensive fuck up for quite a while. But I think they are building the credit in the bank a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, So, any more venues, or should we look at what will be
Let me
gracing the
see.
venues?
Is there anyone else that I want to speak about? Breadshed is quite good. I don't know if you've been
Yes,
to Breadshed.
I've only
Um,
been for the England game. Oh no, I haven't. I've seen a couple of bands at sort of the day festivals, like Neighbourhood, I think it might have been.
yeah.
But I watched one
Um,
of the England games there a couple of years ago. That wasn't the
oh,
best, but
nice.
that was because the football was like lagging on a screen, and it was the
Um,
England USA draw.
oh, that was a 0-0, wasn't it? Was that the Rob? No, was that the Rob Green mistake where he let it go
No,
through him?
more recent than that.
Oh, okay.
Very
Um,
drab game.
yeah, yeah. What else is good? Soup Kitchen is a very nice venue.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know if I've been
right in
to
the
the
center of town.
venue part of it. I think I've only been to the upstairs because the
The bar
venue
is quite
downstairs.
nice, but the
Yeah,
venue
yeah.
is really good.
Mm.
The Castle Hotel is has got a place in my heart forever. I love that place. And I've been there
Mm.
as to the boozer a couple of times, and then I sort of noticed the posters on the wall and was like, right, wow.
Yeah.
I've seen an English teacher in there as well, and it's like a
Mm.
really lovely room, and it's really small and intimate, and it's loud as well, which I like.
Yeah.
Gulliver's over the road, also really good.
Yeah. Been
Band on
there.
the Wall, superb room.
I was trying to think of that before. I always get confused between Deaf Institute and Bad on the Wall for some reason, but it's
And
not.
Night and Day, which
Oh
is
yeah.
I've seen an English teacher there as well.
Yeah. I've spent far too
Good
much
band.
time in Night and Day. I
I
think.
see. Whilst I like Night and Day, I don't really rate it as a venue. It's sort of quite an
Mm.
odd shape, and it's difficult to get to the front or get a good line of sight.
Yeah, but they
But
usually
it's
have DJ
iconic,
sets
isn't
on in
it?
there and stuff, don't they? And it's just like it's a good night
Yeah,
spot
yeah.
rather
And then
than gig
I
spot.
saw Grian Chatton do his solo album in
Ah,
there,
right.
and that was really exceptional. Um, is there anywhere else? Let me think. I think that's kind of it for me. I think that's pretty much everywhere that I've been since I've been
Would you
in
say,
Manchester.
on a closing note, would you say that Co-op Live has surpassed AO already, or is it too soon?
Um, I'd say it's probably too soon to say, and because there was such a sort of faff about it for the first 6, 8 weeks, whatever. I think they've kind of got to a place where, if it had opened smoothly and everything had been perfect, then yeah, probably. But I think there's still a little bit like the name sort of still carries a bit of a
Yeah,
joke with it for now.
yeah, and they have co-ops inside it, don't they? We have
And they do, and they have
yeah,
co-ops inside of it, which is mad. And the beers are really expensive. Again, that I've mentioned this on a few, but if I'm going out for a gig, likelihood is I'm going to have a beer.
yeah,
And
par for the course.
exactly, and if he's charging me what is £8.80 for a pint of Guinness, then you're
Mm.
having a laugh.